G'day everyone, are you guys tired of your skibbity toilets ruining your modern quadruple A gaming overly large boss fights with extremely long health bars that only get tickled by your state-of-the-art purple assault rifle with 243 damage and 23% bonus damage on Sunday evenings? Do not worry my friends, I have the solution for you and your pleas. The answer is of course fan games and fan remakes and of course ROM hacks of your favorite games from the past that do not suck ass. As you already know, indie games have been dominating the Steam charts with smash hits like Schedule 1, Megabomb. Did you however know that most of these developers originally started their ambitious careers of making games with various ROM hacks or fan games? The biggest indie creator of the last decade, Toby Fox, first started his career with the fan ROM hack of Mother 2 Earthbound Halloween hack. Now this past year, 2025, has had some enormously fantastic and ambitious mods that you may have missed or never heard of. And I'm going to go through the ones I really enjoyed from this year. If I missed your favorite, please post in the comments below. I'm going to start this list with a classic game franchise, Doom, which has had map creation, tweaking mods since the beginning of its game inception. However, in recent years, fans have been updating and improving what this humble engine can do. Not only has it gone from being able to run from anything and everything, it's quickly becoming capable of making games with more complexity than once was thought imaginable. I think you all remember the My House one from 2023. What you might not know about it, that this was just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Doom 2 mods. The mod I want to talk about hasn't come out yet, but will come out soon. Doom Dissention 2. I played the first installment of this series earlier this year and it blew me away with its authentic experience and how the pacing of the game felt compared to the original Doom and Doom 2. Doom X Machina, the creator of this mod, recreated that Doom feeling in line with Doom. The level design and 3D models are cut above the rest of the Doom mods I've played. And there are some absolutely cracker cutscenes that had me downright enthralled. The sequel to this mod has been completed, but it's waiting for Doom's new engine for testing before release. I cannot wait. And if you want to play this or any other great Doom mods, you should go to doomworld.com. The next game ROM hack I want to talk about is Super Metroid port of the Metroid Fusion in the GBA. This hack, however, isn't a one-to-one remake in the Super Metroid engine. It does, however, tell the same story from Fusion. This hack is a faithful redesign of the BSL research station, but the path through the research center has been changed to become more difficult, and the SAX is way more aggressive as a threat, chasing you throughout your adventure a lot more. This is not a mod for the average Metroid player, because there is an expectation that you'll know all the tricks and tips for Super Metroid speedrunning, and there is also a lot of Kaizo-like pits that are all over the place. Some of the more complex tricks they require you to do is linking wave dashes, bomb hovering, and precise grapples, all of which become exceptionally more annoying with Kaizo pits everywhere. With all that being said, this is a great way to re-experience a classic story, and if this hack isn't your speed, there are plenty more to find at metroidconstruction.com. This next section is going to be quite a big section. It's going to be dedicated to all the many Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time ROM hacks. This is by far one of the biggest hacking scenes, and the new hacks are going far and beyond what was once thought possible. The shining example for me for this, Hero of Lore, where they implemented a use for every single Nintendo 64 peripheral and have it work on native hardware. Scarlo and the crew over at Newer Team have recreated an Ace Attorney style game, with various Zelda characters filling the roles. It has a new and intriguing elusive story about a murder at the famous Lon Lon Ranch, and the head suspect is our darling Marlin. Can you prove her innocence and overcome the evidence against her? Plus, there are some tasty secret events when you figure out the endgame hints of the game. The good people over at Hylian Modding do regular hack jams where they ask people to try their hand at making their own short experiences within the OOT engine. One that came out this year really showcases the potential of Ocarina of Time hacking, and it was Reality Estate. The theme for this hack jam was multiple dimensions, and the various hacks made for this jam showed all the different uses that this mechanic could provide. One of this was swapping between dimensions, as you made a series of leaps of faith while swapping between other dimensions just in time to land on the platform. Reality Estate, however, made Link an exterminator heading into a cursed manor. This mansion was not just afflicted by ghoulish monsters, but also by a demonic presence. We learned the sordid past of the occupants of this accursed building while switching between reality and a hellish dimension. This year hasn't just been new ROM hacks, there have also been huge updates to hacks that have come out in the past. For example, Zelda The Ultimate Trial is one such hack. It takes the fun combat from Ocarina of Time and turns it into a roguelike game. You have to challenge the various trials in order to earn rupees and upgrades to help you escape from the purgatory that you find yourself into. The new version 1.2 update adds new infinite endgame by adding a randomizer to each of the trials. This will randomize the enemies you face by either keeping in theme with the trial chosen or becoming pure anarchy and allowing any enemy in the game to spawn as a possible enemy. One of the popular earlier hacks made using Ocarina of Time was Zelda the Missing Link. This last year, the creators went back and fixed all the known bugs, improving stability, making this the perfect time to play this classic hack. The hack explores the missing chapters between the events of Ocarina of Time and the Majora's Mask. That literally links the two games, and how Link ended up in those spooky woods at the start of Majora's Mask. The last Ocarina of Time hack I want to talk about is Demon's Quest. This is a riff on Ocarina of Time's Master's Quest. Master Quest changed the original Ocarina of Time's dungeons to have harder puzzles and combat challenges. This hack, however, goes even further beyond, adding a From Software style leveling system into the base game and drastically ramping up the challenges in the game. The core of Ocarina of Time's story and the game's pacing remains the same, except for the finale where you're in for a very pleasant surprise. Moving on from Nintendo 64 Zeldas, the NES variant of fan hacks have also been blessed with a wonderful hack this year by the Free Dude. His last hack, Perils of Darkness, has received a full overhaul of improved graphics the other year. Perils of Darkness has a new overworld, 8 new dungeons, and a full second quest. However, this year, the Free Dude has released a brand new Legend of Zelda hack, the Mirror of Worlds. This hack was heavily inspired by Zelda Link to the Past. It copies a facsimile of its overworld, including the ability to swap between the two Hyrules. Both the light and the dark versions of Hyrule have 8 dungeons each. This is done through some fantastical ROM hack trickery. The Free Dude has managed to combine the RAM data for both Quest A and Quest B, allowing it to become just one quest with 16 dungeons. This means he can expand and separate the dungeons, allowing the Free Dude to go a lot more wild with the theming within each dungeon and exploration for the overworld. If you're ever a fan of Zelda 1 on the NES, this ROM hack should be on the next on your list to play. It also has multiple difficulty options for those who don't have an encyclopedic knowledge on Zelda 1 mechanics, and for those of you who want a really true challenge. I want to deviate a brief moment from ROM hacking to bring attention to Mesen emulator, which is by far one of the best 8 to 16-bit emulators out there. If you ever want to replay anything from PC Engine, TurboGrafx, Wonder Swan, or the NES, this is the emulator. Not only does it flawlessly emulate these systems, it has the capability to completely replace the visuals and audio for these older systems. You can fully exchange their original 2D assets into much larger modern Full HD images, with some ROM hacks added on top to completely change the feel of these older games. A fantastic example is Metroid HD Pack, which came out in 2024. It adds a small map of your current area, information about your current suit's capabilities, and your location. There aren't a lot of these HD packs available right now. However, there are plenty of resources out there on how you can modify your own ROM hacks to have updated visuals and music beyond what was originally presented for the NES. For example, replacing the NES music in Castlevanias for its modern orchestral soundtrack, if that is your preference. I want to note, however, not all these reworked visuals out there have the same quality, but I'm sure with time and love, these reimaginings of the original game as its base will explode in popularity. You can try out a few that are available for yourself at Liquid's Retro Gaming. He has been kindly tabulating all of the resources in one convenient place. I will be making a more in-depth tutorial about installing these mods soon. Subscribe for the future. Moving back to ROM hacking, Banjo-Kazooie ROM hacking has been having a renaissance of late, and this year has had multiple full hacks released. First of which is from a prolific author of full hacks, Mark Kirko, who has released Nostalgia 64. But before I talk about this project, I want to talk about his Halloween hack, the Lair Witch project. This gem of a 2-hour experience sends Banjo on his most horrifying adventure yet. Kirko's speciality, making assets, comes out in fine form here. The grotesque apparitions of the familiar Banjo characters. I will say the horror themes are a little bit more than the usual affair, so be warned if that isn't your thing. Now, Nostalgia 64 in comparison is way more tame, and is a throw-up for everything Nintendo 64. Every single major game on the system gets reference or dedicated levels that manipulate Banjo's systems to mimic the mechanics of their game. For example, in Yoshi's Story, having the 2D planes of hidden paths, or Pokemon Snap, where you have to locate the position of the picture that was taken in order to find a hidden Jiggy. Banjo 3E may have been a dream for players since Banjo 2E came out, however, the closest we're going to get are hacks like the Corrupted Jiggy by Sora 1, who attempt to expand the lore and story of the series. Sora 1 encapsulates the whimsical feeling of Banjo-Kazooie from the worlds, their subplots, and the connective tissue that runs throughout the entire hack. This hack is about exploring the iconic waterfall at the back of Spiral Mountain that has been corrupted by some green solution. Behind the waterfall is a new town and an adventure towards curing this corruption. The worlds go from heaven to hell, farming to industry, and a great overworld connecting everything together. There is also a brand new character, Mr. Moneybags, who sells access to no doors. He's a bit of an asshole, isn't he? Don't worry, we get some karmic justice at the end. Now, Super Mario 64 tinkering and hacking has almost as much prosperity as Doom. I wouldn't be surprised if optimizations to this engine soon have it on the same level. Recently this year, someone managed to make the entire game working on the Game Boy Advance of only 2D sprites. This of course led to some magnificent PC ports and ROM hacks. Two that stand out to me this year are Super Mario 64 Builder and Mario Adventure 2. Super Mario 64 Builder brings the accessibility of Super Mario Maker from the Wii U to the iconic 3D engine. With recent updates, your creative magnificence can be brought to the fore, and if that doesn't suit you, there are others sharing their own creations out there online. Speaking of radical creations, if Mario was just a little bit too slow and you demanded the speed of a blue hedgehog, this brand new ROM hack, Mario Adventure 2, redesigns the entire Sonic Adventure 2 game within the Super Mario 64 engine. Every level, every detail has been recreated lovingly, with our mustachioed friend taking the lead. I don't know whose soul was sold to create the witchcraft needed to make the levels as long and as seamless as they are, but it was well worth the price. When the skating levels started hitting in the later levels, it seemed like it would never be possible to run an N64 system, and yet it is. The final boss fight with Bowser is beyond belief. If your Sonic replays of Sonic Adventure 2 have been missing some overalls, Mario Adventure 2 is the hack you need to enjoy today. Super Mario Galaxy has been a fantastic gem that unfortunately Nintendo has been disappointingly mishandled over two lackluster remakes on the Switch and Switch 2. Fans, however, have been improving and creating magical improvements themselves via controller tweaks or running much higher resolutions via emulation. And now, they are creating entirely new games, like Super Mario Galaxy 63 based upon the Run Now Flash game. Peach's Castle has been reimagined using the Galaxy 2 engine with painting, jumpings, and all. Your favorite worlds have been updated with new galactic twists and fantastic orchestral music. My favorite level was the Bowser's oppressively long final dungeon that took over an hour to beat. Alex, SMG, and all the modders who have helped out with Super Mario Galaxy 63 have outdone themselves. And in addition to Super Mario 63, Super Mario Spectral has also been released in 2025, giving you even more exciting and new galaxies to explore. I have not finished Super Mario Spectral yet, but it is a very promising hack involving a mysterious spectral figure that looks like someone familiar. Mario hacks aren't finished yet. I have saved the most unique for last. Mario and Luigi RPGs on the GBA have always had fantastic humor about them, and the hack Super MarioMon delightfully captures their essence. It is a fan hack of Pokemon Ruby, and it takes the Mario and Luigi into a Pokemon RPG adventure with 151 unique Mario-themed foes to capture and train on your journey throughout Princess Peach's new Capmon Challenge, where you'll explore 8 different worlds, each homaging a different Mario baddie or friend. I especially enjoyed Waluigi's Casino and its purple coin scam. I mean, investment of a lifetime. This hack was created in partnership with AlphaRad as a love letter to both Mario and the Pokemon games. If you weren't quite getting that Pokemon feeling from modern Pokemon XY games, this hack will have you enjoying it for hours and hours collecting all the mons, and there are even some special guests from other worlds. Fan remakes of games have always been in a weird grey area of lawyers. These next few games could be gone before you know it, but they were made to be played and shared, starting with Super Mario Bros. Remastered, a full PC remaster of the original game and the lost levels. It has slightly improved controls and cut content, with a Super Mario Builder added for good measure. The special thing about these fan remakes is how they allow the user to customize their own experience and looks and sounds. Even Mario can be changed to be Sonic if you so wish. This remaster of Super Mario Bros. Has been made to celebrate 40 years of Mario stomping Goombas, and may he stomp Goombas for many more years to come. Moving back to Zelda, Hopfully released a PC version of Zelda 2 Link's Adventure 3 years ago, and he has been consistently updating it. Zelda 2 helped pioneer the Metroidvania style of games, and it's the only time Link got to be truly blessed by such a system. The leveling system, while simple, served well when paired with the various interesting boss fights and tricky platforming mechanics. The PC port fixes a lot of the major issues of the game, including how the life system worked. The stilted jumps and dread pits of death, they've also been solved with a lovely fairy helping you out, while keeping some of its more vague hallmark problems, like the game's direction and confusing messaging of I am error. On top of this, Hopfully has added a whole lot more mini-games and quests and an entirely new bonus island that is only available in the New Game Plus after you first claim the Triforce, to finally prevent that pesky Ganon from returning. It is honestly a perfect way to replay Zelda 2 Link's Adventure. Speaking of quirky second entries into the franchise that throw caution to the wind, Castlevania II Simon's Quest also had its own fan remake release, Castlevania Symphony of Horrors Simon's Quest. This was the starting point for the RPG mechanics for the Castlevania franchise way before Symphony of the Night. However, its obtuse, obscure exploration and puzzles to gain access to the various dungeons.
There are parts in the game that are definitely not self-explanatory and are too hard to figure out. Take this dead end, for example. Would you guess that you're supposed to pass through this wall? How? You have to kneel down by it for like 10 seconds. Now still, that's not enough to make it so cryptic and hidden that we can't figure it out. Oh, please give us more for our buck and make it harder so we can wander around the whole game and exhaust every possibility before we find out. Okay, guess what? You need to have a red crystal selected and be kneeling down and wait a little while before this magic tornado comes and takes you to the next part of the game.
Aggravated gamers. First Serve Gaming has remade the game from the ground up using Unreal Engine to redefine the game's look in stereoscopic 3D and fancy lighting, from moody storms to a horrible night to have a chorus. Symphony of Horror isn't a one-to-one remake of Castlevania 2. The dungeons and leveling system have been changed, but the story is the same. Simon, after the events of Castlevania, has been cursed by Dracula and must now gather all of his cursed parts and put them to rest at long last. Parts are no longer the primary currency in this mod. Money has been added to supplement the game for buying whip upgrades and sub-weapons. Like in the Symphony of Night Castlevania games, you can find health and heart upgrades, plus there's a new whip upgrade to replace the level system from Castlevania 2. If you've been feeling rejected by the lack of Konami Castlevania games, First Serve Gaming's entry into the series whets the appetite. As of this video's release, the full game is not done, but it is very playable and worth every second you got. Lastly, this was almost left off the script. Duke Nukem Voxel remake. That's right, the Duke is back to chew bubblegum and kick ass, but he's all out of gum. Now, with true 3D. No longer will the Duke be facing billboards pretending to be 3D models spinning in place. The Duke is finally a true 3D first-person shooter. All 3 original great episodes have been recreated with fantastic voxel graphics for authentic, groovy action. This mod has been lovingly created by Dan Peterson, aka Chilo. Check it out now. Well, that was a long list, and I'm sure I have missed many a romhack out there. If you have played or loved any romhacks that I missed, please tell me about them in the comments below. And if you could share this video with anyone, it greatly helps the analytics for the video. Some stuff I'm looking forward to in the not too distant future is Kaze's return to Yoshi Island hack for Super Mario 64 and Kirko's coin quest for Banjo-Kazooie. In the very near future, however, there's another highly modding hack jam for Zelda Ocarina of Time going on right now. The theme this time is crossover. Yes, that means Zelda is going to meet Peach, or Mega Man, hell, maybe even Banjo. It's gonna be some crazy fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, please like and share the video. And if you want to subscribe, you can get more content like this and helpful tutorials. I stream most days, so if you have any burning questions, you can just catch me live and ask me there. If you guys have a great day, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye bye.